Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the 8th Newcomers tournament. We are on Group C, round 1 of the game. We have Dryad, Deska, Kawaii, RadarContact. I'm Lahi, and casting with me is Threat Penguin.
Hello. And
okay, I'm still loading in. Let's look at the map and let's start.
Right, so we have a chem colony. We can see that we have high power price, high fuel, high aluminum, and also what I think is important here, we have low glass and high electronics. I'm personally looking to found one of the factions who upgrade with glass here. Do you see any nice spots?
Yeah, definitely not. Nomadic would not be a good choice in this case because of the high electronics price. They do not start with electronics.
Yeah, there is, however, one combo tile which is very nice. It has high silicon and low carbon in the west. That could be a very interesting tile to grab.
Okay, the first found from as expensive from Dryad going for standard steel. Deska has found it on a moderately okay carbon spot, but we have nukes available, so I'm not sure about their safety.
Yeah, I do however like that they found it on aluminum, because that's actually the only aluminum patch on the entire map. So he will have access to the aluminum and others will have to ship it. We also have RadarContact in the corner. He has access to iron and water, and he's also pretty close to the combo tile we talked about, so that will be nice for him. As long as he can secure aluminum. So far nobody has actually claimed aluminum, and it started at twice the price. So I'm really concerned about everyone except that Scar right now.
The black market is online.
That's a good point. Aluminum price is rising. That Scar should definitely not be selling the aluminum because they literally have the monopoly right now.
Yeah. Although both Dryad and Kawaii have bought up the required aluminum, so they will get to HQ2. And there we see Dryad being second to HQ2.
What do you think about that Scar's claims they went into 2 primary resources instead of productions?
I think it's a very good idea because the glass started at 40, so you don't need to make a lot of money to be able to upgrade. And I like that they claimed this combo tile, although it is very far away, but it's a strong tile.
Agreed.
So they are first to HQ3 by selling some of the aluminum and buying some of the glass, and they can probably get to HQ4 by doing the same strategy. But I'm starting to be concerned about rising power price here. Do you think maybe they should go into power?
I think so, yes. They have plenty of carbon income, so they could have gone for maybe a geo and then use the rest of the claims for the productions, like the electrolysis reactors that has gone into.
Yeah, I think those are good too. But however, he is using up all the fuel he's making with his shipping on this tile. So maybe if you're producing fuel here, you should turn this tile off for now and then use it later when fuel is cheaper. He did choose to go into 1 wind turbine, and there's a dust storm coming, so it will be extra good. And he also purchases the game's first goon and places it there. I would personally actually want to place a goon on my quarries because of the nukes. But we'll see if he can get away with it.
Yeah, the Deska will want a goon on the combo tiles and the carbon.
Yeah, the issue is if his carbon gets nuked, there's not much replacement carbon to get. So it's pretty important to protect here. And we have a claim auction. I think if you're aiming to make any power money here, you should probably not bid a lot for this. That Scar bids 42k, I think it's okay, but he will probably not make any power money now.
I think that's okay if they use the new claim for new wind turbine, like right now they're doing it, and it's going to be dust storm soon, very high power price, so it can pay for itself very soon. I think.
It's a very good timing to place the wind turbine. You can see now this single tile right now making almost 400 a second in power. So yeah, that's not money of course, it's just paying off his debt, but that's also very good. Meanwhile we have Dryad, HQ3. They have built a geothermal plant too and placed a gun on it, which I like because the power is so high. And going into farms. Now this is it would be better off after the dust storm, because you can see on the dust storm that one of the effects is halved greenhouse farm production. But after the dust storm, farms will be a very, very good building to have. Kawaii is also in farms, so he's also impacted by the dust storm.
Yeah, these farms are not doing much in the dust storm. What's bad about dust storm and the farm is that except when you're robotic, your HQ consumes flat amount of food, so you cannot make that amount of food into money. But since the dust storm cuts the production down into half, the percentage of the ratio you can sell and not sell is greater when it's dust storm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but
it makes sense to me. So the dust storm is over now, and yeah, everyone who was previously only paying on debt with food is now making money off food. And we see Kawaii hit HQ3 and the RadarContact HQ3. Both seem pretty undecided, and one trick you can do when you're waiting to get the money to upgrade is to plan your next claims when you upgrade. If you plan ahead, you can place them down directly and get an advantage. Because one of the side effects of upgrading is the increased consumption on your HQ. So preferably, as soon as you upgrade, you want to use your claims.
I don't like this dynamite on Dryad's Geo by Kawaii. First, because power has almost died and there's no sign of rising very soon. And second, it doesn't hurt Dryad very much. Dryad just has to pay like 30 steel and 20 aluminum. It's not really much looking at the prices.
Yeah. It would have been really good when power was at 200, but now it's a bit too late. So
instead, it would have been more effective on farms or reactors, so especially farms, because it also boosts Kawaii's profits.
Yeah, and Kawaii just bought won an auction for 48,000, which I think is a bit steep. But it will be a nice pleasure dome. With 3 expansives and 1 scavenger, those factions contribute a lot to the income of a pleasure dome. And you can see right now on the tooltip, it will be $232 a second.
Yeah, pleasure dome is one of the markets people sometimes overlook, but it can be a really big deal in the mid game and the late game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Dryad at HQ4. So one price that will stay high all game is the fuel, and I think you might want to take advantage of that by making even more reactors. Because remember, you have to subtract the fuel you're using from the ones you're producing before you can make money on it. So people haven't really been selling fuel because they're using so much.
Another EMP on that scar. It's a little bit surprising that Kawaii is the only person throwing black market items against others. Maybe it's partially because they're bribe claim on the board and it's 90 seconds, so everyone wants to buy them.
Yeah. Yeah, bribe claims are usually an attractive item to go for early. We can see that scar going into chem refiners, which means he will drive up the price of fuel even more. So fuel is a very good market for other players right now. And I like that people are hitting that scar in particular, because he's ahead both in money and in HQ levels. And people can see that he's also in a patent lab because he didn't use a hologram in it. So everybody knows right now that that scar has a patent lab. So I can't see it. Where is it? Oh, it's in the colony. He's getting thinking machines right now. Which I think is a good choice since everybody's hitting him with EMPs. He will be more resistant now.
Offer prices is not really good though, and chemical prices is quite steep right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I might have preferred an optimization center. Optimize some fuel and some chems to make your really profitable buildings. We have a carbon scrubbing auction, which is very good on this map, because carbon was pretty sparse. If all the carbon gets nuked, or a lot of carbon gets nuked, having this patent will be very valuable. And Dryad gets it for 40,000. I think it's worth that, and maybe even more. Remember, it's also a chem colony, so carbon will always be in demand. So far though, not a single nuke has been thrown out.
The black market is online.
I think that Ska has some opportunity for majority buyout on any of the other players with 100k on their bank.
Yeah. Maybe not Kawaii, but definitely RadarContact and Dryad. However, this is pretty hard to spot as a player, because when you're playing you don't actually see these numbers. To see them you have to hover over your name here, and you will see under the cash plus resources column, or the row, how much people have, so you can see if they can afford to defend their stock or not.
Usually as scavengers, they secure their long-term game by having a lead in the early game and having a sub, or they get a superior patent and overcome their limited claims. If they don't do either of them, they usually lose to expensive long-term advantages. That said, that Ska is still solidly in the lead. So I wonder how this will go.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that he's now researching virtual reality, but he doesn't actually have a pleasure dome. But he did just buy a claim from the black market, and I hope he places a pleasure dome with it. If he gets the patent, which he actually didn't, so maybe it was good to wait. And we have another dust storm, so we expect farm food prices to rise during this dust storm, and power prices to shrink. And you can see Kawaii here has the auto off enabled, and the game detects that water is so high and farms are so bad during the dust storm that it turns them off for him, which is very nice.
It's interesting to see that RadarContact is the only person who's in optimization center. It's going to play a big role in these high price situations.
Yes, absolutely. I think what might be scaring people off is the high chem price, but if you just start optimizing chems yourself, you can actually like support your own optimization centers. And he is also making chems, which I like. I would prefer to see him start optimizing it. And most people see the high number next to that scar, so they're buying up their stock, so they don't get bought up.
If you look at the black market purchases, Dryad is the only person who bought claims, and it's 4 of them.
Oh, wait, that scar has 3 too, and Dryad has 4.
Oh yeah, so that's my mistake.
Those are very good choices to buy though, because you can see the on-world prices being high, and the higher those are, the more valuable a claim is. And a claim looks like on average makes $100 a second. So Dryad having bought 4 will probably make about $400 a second more than the people who don't buy claims. So I like that a lot. And now they are also at HQ5. So they will have a lot of claims to work with. We have some nukes. One on the aluminum. I didn't catch the others, but there have been some going out. So RadarContact nuked the Dryad's aluminum. So he sees that the Dryad is dangerous.
We have 200 water and it is still rising and rising and rising. It's because RadarContact is consuming 2.85 and Kawaii is in minus 2.3.
Yeah. The Dryad, I don't know, I call him dead Dryad. Dryad has had a big stockpile though and sold it down, so now it's a very nice cash advantage. That Scar also had a small stockpile but didn't sell it down, unfortunately. And the and Dryad sees that the Scar is the big threat and starts buying into him. But this might backfire because that Scar has a lot more money than they do. Oh, and now it's all sells out?
Wow, that Scar has a lot of money compared to everyone else.
Yeah. I like that he went for this third water. He saw the water price going up. And the game also sees that water is expensive. That's why it chooses water specifically as an auction here. This will... Well, it's not the best tile because there's no possible adjacency. And it's probably not worth 48k. But it is worth a bit. I think Dryad wanted that because they have teleportation. It's going to be a long way to ship for Kawaii. And that Scar secures slant drilling, which makes his water triangle very strong right now. And he's pulling in 10.5 water per second. I would like to see him sell it though. Because Dryad is also making a lot of water.
The black market is open for business.
And that Scar has so much money, he can pretty much buy anyone he wants to right now. And I would probably look to buy Dryad.
Even has a shift buy on RadarContact if they want it. And RadarContact just started building off-road. So if that car is looking for that, RadarContact could be a good sub to have.
Yeah. I think I would go after Dryad though, because Dryad has the most money, so he's the biggest threat to me. But there is a case to go for the people with the off-world too. And off-worlds are pretty good right now. You will get 38k profit launching Oxygen. That's not bad. And he actually... Oh, this is clever. He has it by the colony, so he gets a 20% bonus at launch speed. And he has it hologram, so people will think it's an optimization center. I like that. I think Dryad wants to buy up their own stock right now. Because they will have an advantage the later game goes with this off-world and their amount of claims. But they need the game to go longer, and to do that they should buy their own stock, so they're more expensive to buy.
Look at the quadruple metal mine on Dryad Spades. Iron has been rising and rising, and Dryad took advantage of it, went into a lot of iron and extracted quick money out of it. I like that move.
Yeah. And now that iron is dead, he is moving out of it again. I like that. I wouldn't mind seeing him go into some electronics with these tiles. Or maybe even more farms and reactors, because they are still very good markets. Actually, considering that he's launching Oxygen, he might want to go into reactors specifically, so he can secure more Oxygen for himself.
Congratulations.
So we have a cold fusion auction won by that Scar. It's the power price and the water price isn't that different, so right now it's not a huge deal, but it might be coming to play later. And actually, considering that Scar has 3 high water tiles, I really like that he took that auction, because he will have a lot of water.
As we have covered before, scavengers tend to get behind in the long game because of their lack of claim and some lack of advantages.
The black market is online.
And I think it's going to be dangerous for that Scar to delay the game, buying out anyone
Yes.
Playing the game, not buying out anyone, and just sitting on the money.
He should probably look to
Your stock is being
buy... I was gonna say RadarContact, but a lot of things are happening right now. We'll see how this ends up. Okay, so Dryad is selling out of that Scar, and that Scar is buying into himself. I'm not sure why Dryad is doing this. I would probably look to buy that Scar since he still has the biggest chunk of cash with this 300,000. Dryad is the first to place down his second offer. And
I find it odd. I find it odd that even as a scavenger with good carbon, this guy has not gotten into off-road and now just building one. If they had secured double off-road earlier, it could have secured their long game, but now they're behind too expensive on the off-road game.
yeah, they needed to use that money somehow. Off-road is one way, or trying to get a buy is another, but unfortunately they didn't do any of those. And I want to point out that the Dryad has 2.4 thousand carbon stockpiled and has the teleport patent. So this would actually be a very nice time to replace these quarries with something profitable, like maybe glass kilns or chem refiners or farms. But basically anything, because you will not use your 2.4 thousand carbon by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Sold.
And core sample 1 by that Scar, which he could use actually, even though it has no claims, because he has the slant drilling patent. I think the only thing he can do is try to get the high carbon here, but it's one way to use it.
Let's review the base layouts of the players. RadarContact has all of their production buildings clumped together, which is very vulnerable to EMP attacks. However, that Scar space has triangles of 3 and 4, so they're safer in that regard. I like that base layout.
Yes, that's a very safe base layout.
Same for Dryad. Even though it is a little bit cramped, Dryad did the best for them to make it safer than it can be otherwise.
Yes. And I like the buildings Dryad is in. He found all the markets that are profitable and he is optimized in them and he's making a lot of money. Notice that these numbers were a lot higher on his space than on the other player spaces. So Dryad is making a lot of money right now.
If you were that Scar, would you finish the buy on Kawaii or just sit in the money and wait for someone to make a move on and buy out, like Dryad buying RadarContact?
I'm worried that I won't make as much money as Dryad is, so I would want to finish the buy on Kawaii as soon as possible so I can start making the subsidiary income. And considering the price of carbon, as you pointed out, I would definitely look at another off-road market too.
I don't like the transition from that Scar out of carbon quarries and moving into chemical refiners. They don't have much carbon stockpiles, unlike Dryad. So I think this transition is dangerous.
Yes, I agree. And it also means that he won't have the carbon required to build a second off-road. Chems, however, is a good choice because it's the price is high. So Dryad gets a buy on RadarContact, and I really like Dryad's position right now. He has 2 off-roads, his subsidiary has 2 off-roads. They will make a lot of money, and of course, as we pointed out, he has the very nice optimizations. In fact, one of his chemical refineries is making more than his off-road market. So you should really pay attention to the on-road prices and see. You can see now how impactful the optimizations are.
I think what Dryad should do right now is either pay down their debt a little bit or buy into that Scar, because if that Scar buys out Kawaii first, then that Scar's stock price will rise. So Dryad might want to do it before that Scar finishes the buy, so he gets the cheaper stock.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving first is a pretty big advantage, I think, and especially before a buy. I think he was like $40 stock price or something, and now it's 64. So it's a really big difference. So it's a 1 versus 1 now. You have an easier time choosing your targets for the black market. And in particular, slowdown strikes I think are very good there. They're cheap and they would shut down a lot of Dryad's income.
I like this Dryad's move of throwing a dynamite on a sub's off-road. When a player becomes a sub, all their goons and holograms are deleted, so they're safe to be dynamited, and it will cut into your opponent's money-making buildings. So that's a really great move. I think Dryad has the game at this point because they have more off-roads in total and making more money in general.
Yeah. So one market is very strong right now that it's ignored by both players is the glass, and there's a random shortage. So it's gonna get even stronger. I would like to see one of the players move, or one or both players move into it. And yeah, that Scar is doing that. It's a very good choice. However, I think Dryad has a big head start. It's 40% versus 14. And I'm not sure what that Scar could do to turn this at this point.
Off-road shipment launched. Look at all the money.
He chooses to attack Dryad's water, but it's too late. So remember that Dryad has a sub that will also sell down water, so it's not very impactful at this stage in the game. Nukes are usually more impactful the earlier you put them down, the earlier you use them.
Launch affirmative. What a payout.
You can see that Dryad's reactors have started turning to losing money for them. That's because of the rising water price. But as we can see, it's too late. Like there's so many other income streams right now. It's a subsidiary, the off-roads. So just hitting the market isn't enough, fortunately. And Dryad currently has the buy on that Scar, which he can see if they hover over the tooltip here. See that it's higher than 733k. And they got GG's called. And congratulations to Dryad, who wins the first game.
Congratulations.
I don't know if they can see that, I think so. Okay. Yeah, and I think that Scar had a solid hold on the game early on, but unfortunately, when they had like 300,000, they didn't do much with it. They almost had they could afford to buy Dryad right there, pretty much, but they didn't, and they paid the price.
That Scar had a huge advantage, but failed to transfer that advantage into a winning strategy.
Yeah. And let's see how the pleasure domes worked out. I think virtual reality was a very good patent.
Yeah, Dryad earned a lot of money. Actually, their pleasure dome revenue is equivalent to that of dividend revenue. So that's really a lot for Dryad.
Yeah, absolutely. 350k is very good. And that's one pleasure dome, so one claim and one patent, which they got pretty early, the virtual reality patent. And yeah, well played to them.
And optimizations as well, Dryad has 17 compared to 7 or 6 from other players. So Dryad produced things more than other people and thus making more money.
Yeah, no, it's not just having more. There were really good choices. Food and chems were high. Remember, it was a chem colony. We can expect chems to become expensive then. So chems is a very nice choice to optimize. All right, on to the next round.